Revisiting a transformational healing session. Rubenfeld Synergy Reflections. What happens when you look back at a healing session from 25 years ago? In this video, Heather Skol talks with Bonnie Muller about rewatching her very first Rubenfeld Synergy session with founder Ilana Rubenfeld. The session helped Bonnie work through a deep emotional need, finding her independence while still feeling close to her father. You'll see clips from that original session where Ilana gently listens, uses quiet touch, and invites movement to help guide the healing process. Both women are fully present as they explore the balance between connection and being your own person. In this video, you'll see a personal story of growth and self-discovery, video clips of Ilana Rubenfeld in a session, how the Rubenfeld Synergy method works. If you're interested in body-mind healing, emotional release, or how gentle touch can help, you'll enjoy this conversation. You can view the complete edited version happening hands on the website rubenfeldfoundation.org.
I'm Heather Skol, certified as a Rubenfeld Synergist in 2002. When I saw my own video 25 years later, I realized how that session with Ilana in front of my training group impacted my life's trajectory. Then I saw the video of Bonnie Muller's session. I was curious about what was Bonnie's experience like watching her video 27 years later. A conversation with Bonnie prompted a video series to discover how these sessions impacted synergists' lives. Welcome to Synergy Conversations. I'm Heather Skol, and I'm here today with Bonnie Muller. Hi, Bonnie.
Hello, Heather.
What we're going to do today is review a video that was done 27 years ago, was recorded by the training. And in this session, you'll see Bonnie as the person who is going through the session, and Ilana Rubenfeld is the synergist. So Bonnie, before we go right to talking about the video, is there anything you want to add about that?
Well, I'm really humbled to be here with you, and this is a pretty private experience, and I'm glad to have a chance to share it because I feel that I've learned so much as a client with Ilana as the synergist about how it was that she helped me through a period of time in such a short experience with her. You know, I was in my 4th year of training, and I was looking forward to having a session with her. Every trainee had a chance to have a session with Ilana, and this time I specifically asked for it. My dad had died about 2 months before, and I was looking to resolve some grief that I had, in particular about what I was about to do in terms of learning Rubenfeld Synergy. So let's watch, and then I can explain a little bit more about that.
I would like more experience with you. I'd like more of someone just hanging out with me. I'd like more.
Would you say that again?
I would like more.
Change I would like. See, I'd feel to say I want more.
I want more.
How's that? The energy of I want more, which I would like more.
I want more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I also am, another part of the possibilities in my life is having the possibility of experiencing all the richness of the relationship I've had with my father and his work with people, including his hands-on people.
Yes.
And I would love to have myself come fully into my own hands and have my father, I want a sense of my father watching me and being proud of me.
All right. Well, that's enough.
So watching that again, is there something that you want to say about it, and maybe some explanations of what led up to that segment?
Watching it again, it was the first time I watched it again was very stirring because it was as if I was there again. I knew how it felt to be there at the time. I remember it so clearly now, especially seeing from the outside what was going on between Ilana and me. So I knew how I experienced it. I remember that pretty well, but when I experienced watching it, I got layers and layers of understanding. And the thing is that my dad was an osteopathic physician. He had died a couple months before this session, and I had been very close with my dad until I started to study Rubenfeld synergy. And then he was a little bit put off by that because as an osteopathic physician, he'd gone through the period of time when osteopathy and hands-on supporting a person to have healthy alignment of the physical body. That's a hands-on process that osteopaths can use. And that he went through a lot of obstacles with the profession to be accepted in the medical community as it is widely accepted today. Here I was going into an area of work with people to support people's alignment with themselves, physically, emotionally, spiritually. It seemed pretty scary to him. And a lot of medical people were quite against the idea of people who were not medically trained having using touch with clients. And so I had learned to be fully appreciative of Ilana's courage to do what she did in the time that she did it, because she really did bring the body and the emotions that are experienced in the body together. And it wasn't easy for her. And I really have this understanding retrospectively that he was really cautious on my behalf. But for me at the time, it felt like he was simply distancing and not understanding me at all. And that was sad for me. And I long to resolve that.
Yeah, and I can even hear in you talking about it now, not so much being in the deep emotion of it, but even in your voice, there's this almost sense of, grief, a longing, something that um, you can talk about now without the deep emotion of it, but that going back to that time and observing yourself in that time, there's still a connection to what that was like for you then.
There will always be traces, I guess, of that period of time within me. I can feel it in my heart. I feel it in my throat and voice and my breath. And I am moved just talking about it with you and your careful listening.
Yes, and I'm moved too. So even you talking about it, I feel this, connection to this sense of this really, it's a very tender, it's a very tender
Yeah.
piece to be able to pause and say, wait, what's happening, for Bonnie right now? And even 27 years later, just reflecting on this, and then how it comes to me, in my body. And it's like, oh, right, this is a moment to really listen and experience, what I'm feeling. And although your story isn't my story, there is some connection around grief I might experience, or the grief of not being fully understood or accepted for the work I do. This is your piece and your story that really does create an opportunity for somebody to watch, to observe as a layer, and to also reflect on how that is meaningful for like myself, or meaningful for someone else watching it for themselves.
The way you're describing that, Heather, is exactly why those people are sitting around in the background, because that was the training group. And as each person had a session, we were watching and feeling how it moved through us. And then that was in this particular session, at the end of this video, there's a place where Ilana teaches just what you just said about how the witnessing and the listening, it's important to be there so fully present that you can take the person's word, and if you have your hands on them, you're sensing a lot of energy and movement, vibration, and that's what our bodies do. But anyway, if we go further into that video, I can maybe say more about that, but you're quite a good teacher yourself.
Well, thank you, Bonnie. I will say, as we go into the next video, what really struck me was a lot of what was going on with your body that maybe you couldn't have described in words before your body spoke, and how Ilana followed that trace of what was going on in her observations and on the table. So let's move to the next clip to watch.
Okay.
Hey.
It's moving.
I just want to move some more.
Yeah, go ahead. I want to move.
I want to move more than I've been moving.
Say that again.
I want to move more than I've been moving.
Where would you like to move?
Out.
Go ahead. Let
Move
yourself.
out.
Yeah, go ahead. I want to move out.
Yeah.
So into this wider space. You're moving. You're taking up more space,
Yeah.
and you're moving right over the table.
Yeah. That's where I'm going.
That's where I'm going. So the table has a kind of a territory, a boundary there, and you'd like to...
Not that far.
Not that far.
A lot happened there in that clip. And I know that we did edit out a little bit of the portion in between. So can you describe perhaps what happened, or what Ilana was doing in that in between, to go from where you said, I want to move more than I've been moving, up to where you felt you had too much space and freedom?
The process that I see now was the slowness. It seemed like it was taking forever, like I was in a long, extended period of time. But Ilana wasn't leading me to take more space. That's the thing I see now so clearly. She kept her responses were either to mirror in a very caring, compassionate way what I had just said myself, or to ask the question, what are you experiencing now? Or how do you experience that with your legs off the table? And so that is the method that increased my curiosity. What am I experiencing now? Well, I have to really go inside to find out what I'm experiencing. And my body says, my legs say they want to move. So they move. And then I have the thought. So my body was leading me through this experience of greater awareness. And she was tracking me and following me. And rarely she would have a little bit of a different slant on what she said, or she would offer me an experiment. But when she said, go ahead and move, it's because I had already clearly moved. And she's giving me permission to keep moving, keep listening to what my body wants to do.
Yeah.
So when my body had my legs flopped over the edge and I hear the words, or she says something about the boundary, and that interacted with my awareness. It was this real conversation going on between us on a physical and emotional and mental level, so that I could there's a boundary here and I'm going over the boundary. And it took me just minutes and minutes and minutes to really have this growing sense that there was something happening. I couldn't put it into words yet. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I'm trying to integrate that in to respond to that because there were some pieces in there that I picked up. And you said something earlier about time. And then just now you said it felt like this extended time on the table. For anybody who doesn't know, a Rubenfeld synergy session is only approximately 40 to 50 minutes long. And yet you experienced it as this expanded time. If I was trying to process something as you were moving my body around and I was doing it by myself, even now as an experienced Rubenfeld synergist, it probably would take me days or weeks to figure out the connection.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas what Ilana did, it was almost able to take expanded time and compress it into moments because she was there with you, witnessing, following, and then the guiding part or the facilitating part was almost like asking you, what are you noticing? What are you experiencing? She's noticing as she's observing your legs going off a table, called it a boundary, which reflected back in you to like, oh, I'm over the edge. I'm beyond this comfort zone. I don't have support out here. All of these things. It's almost like the time expands because it's only X amount of time, and yet it gets compressed into this short period where you feel like you've been on this journey in a way.
Yeah.
And these things happen as you experienced then and described now.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's all true. That's all how it goes.
Yeah. So we're going to move to, let's talk about what's going to happen in the last clip that we're going to show. And although this last clip isn't the very end of the session, it is in a way connecting. It's another sort of connecting piece for you, what you learned and gathered from your body. And is there anything that you want to say about it before we watch it?
Oh, let's just watch it and see.
Okay, let's do that.
Let's zip down to your back. Let's zip down to that back. It's the lower back, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Right there. You want to slip your hand underneath there and just feel that spot? Just slip it underneath there. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Now, what's the wisdom that that lower back says to you about freedom and movement?
Well, if you stretch too far, you're gonna lose touch with me.
If you stretch too far, you're going to lose touch
Mm-hmm.
with me. Okay, and who's me hanging out down there in your back?
That was my leg hanging out.
Yeah, your leg was hanging out. So was that your leg that said that, or your back?
Well, my back said to my leg,
Okay,
if you go out too far out there, you lose touch with me.
okay. Your back said to your leg, if you go out, okay, I got it. If you go out too far, you lose touch with me. Okay. So when you hear that, there's a lot of feelings. Okay, so let yourself have those feelings, body. Right here, let yourself have it. Say that again, and just let yourself have those feelings.
If you go out too far there, you'll lose touch with me.
I'm breathing so deliberately in that clip and throughout this session, because there's a microphone right here, I can hear my breathing, and that only brings back to me, it brings back to me that I was using my breath as I had learned to do to help me tolerate strong emotions. And the emotional movement inside me was so vast and was being expressed in my body in so many ways. And what that doesn't tell is that in the next few moments, which seemed like eternity to me, but the clarity that came, that it was really, if you go too far out there with that energy touch work with people with your hands, then you're going to lose touch with me, as if message was my dad talking inside me, having this power to still affect my relationship with myself. I hadn't fully accepted that this is my life, this is my journey, and I can take this skill that is very available to people, and I can make it mine without doing harm. And then in the further, and also I get to see in that clip the delicacy and the tenderness with which Ilana is reflecting back what I say, and she's not leading, she's just being with me there, supporting me there. Then I can go the next step. Then I can go the next step. And inside of me, this motion is coming clearer and clearer. And then I see that this whole thing about my legs over the edge was my body talking. This was the message. I got it. And the rest of the session, which was maybe only 20 minutes more, but it seemed longer, was about really integrating that having emotions was another part that I really wanted to share with my dad, the power of that. And I knew that he was highly sensitive to his clients and his patients, and he really got them on many levels. But I also, especially in retrospect, can see that, well, I didn't feel like he got me so much in the moment. I can get that his compassion for me and his parental care was like, oh, you're going to go out there and you're going to struggle because people aren't going to understand what you're doing. I had asked him once, I was thinking about going to medical school, and I remember him saying, oh, that would be so hard at this time in your life. So I know that he just wanted me to have ease in my life. And I'm here with Ilana getting ease in my body, getting so loose. It further developed that in the beginning, when she asked me, well, how are you experiencing yourself now or your pelvis now? I remember saying, finding the words that matched what I was experiencing was, well, I feel like porous and like a sponge. And then at the end, my body was so relaxed. I had let go of so much inner tension and grief that when I went to get off the table, the words that came, I feel like a jellyfish. I was so limber. I was so loose. It took me a while to stand up off the table. And then she gave me more time for that. Oh, you feel like a jellyfish. Oh, and she walked around beside me like, oh, she walked alongside me. She barely led, but she did lead, but in this following kind of way. That's the paradox of this Rubenfeld synergy work. Is that you have to be fully present in the moment to get to the next moment with integrity and to discover the things that are so waiting to be paid attention to.
Okay, there's a lot. That's a lot, and it's really quite a testament to you being present with yourself, but rewatching it and being present with yourself watching the session as well. And I want to just talk about the testament to sort of Ilana's work and experience, because what Ilana would say is whether we were doing a session or whether you're on the floor doing what we call a body-mind exercise, there's some movement and some awareness involved, that at the end of it, something would change. And it wouldn't be the floor or it wouldn't be the table that changed. So something would change. So when you
If you, yes, she said, if you stay long enough, something will change.
something
And that's what I felt like she stayed and stayed and stayed and stayed.
Yeah.
And then later she took my hands and she also took time with my hands like this and really allowed me to integrate this awareness of my own hands connected with her hands, which is really how this session solidified my relationship with Ilana Rubenfeld. Even at the end of the session, there was this play we were in a very intimate contact as she was touching me and talking to me and then holding my hands. And there was the connection, and then there was the separateness. And so at the end of the session, my body even said, I need to take some space so I can see you from a distance. So I can see you and me, and we're separate, and we can be close and we can be separate. And that was a part of, I guess, what carried me after that into the rest of my life, wanting to do the work, wanting to teach the work, wanting to share the work with others because was so profoundly helpful to me. And so it led me into years of working to promote Rubenfeld synergy in a climate that it wasn't particularly acceptable. But now that there's so much awareness of the emotions um, residing within us bodily and energetically, having the realm of energy and imagination and universal connection and human connection, all that is so much more in the mainstream now of work with people. And I'm just fortunate that you and I are both still happily sharing it with others as best we can.
I I want to appreciate all the things that you mentioned that really talk about the layers of a session of Rubenfeld synergy, and that observing it, you can even uncover more layers than that you were consciously aware of when you were on the table in the session.
Mhm.
And yet those layers were revealing themselves over time and over the years. And how precious it is that we now have the opportunity to look back and see your session, that session. I feel blessed that I could see your session, even though I wasn't in your training, and get that sense of the connection with the Bonnie of 27 years ago, and looking at it now and how the relevance is still there in terms of that Rubenfeld synergy is still existing, and we still have the opportunity to teach to others in the world. So we are quite blessed as far as being able to look back, and I'm really glad that you and I both just were so curious about the impact ultimately of, what was the impact of these sessions that we had in your particular right now, your session on your life. And you described how you've continued on your journey of supporting and promoting Rubenfeld synergy, and embodying all the concepts and principles and those layers of Rubenfeld synergy.
Hey, I appreciate your perspectives on that, Heather, and I'm really grateful to you for this opportunity too.
And we'll say so long for now.
I can see you with my eyes. I can touch you with my hands. I can feel you in my heart. I can hold you in my heart. When I can't see you anymore, when I can't touch you anymore, I will feel you